30 minutes of pure entertainment with musicians, writers, and actors to motivators, chefs, and even rappers to up-and-comings with the it factor. It's the Jazzie K Ward coming at ya. Have fun, some smiles, a few laughs. Tune in, chime in, sit back, relax. Have fun, some smiles, a few laughs. Jazzie After Dark.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Happy Monday to you. We are shifting gears tonight with the one and only Mr. Gerry Smoot is here. I love that song. Again, everybody, welcome to Artist Talk. I'm your host, Jazzie K Ward. I see so many people in the room. I see Wolford. What's up, my brother? I see Jazzie Harris. I see CTK. My brother is in the house. I see Rose Lady Edmond. Dr. Graham is here. Kenneth. Hey, Colleen, everybody is here. And if you don't know any of these people, shame on you. But don't forget to go over to K Ward Radio. It's my YouTube channel. Subscribe to the channel as well as kwardradio.com. I am super excited tonight to talk about this latest album called Mood Elevator from the one and only international recording artist, multi-instrumentalist, Mr. Gerry Smoot is our special guest tonight. Please go ahead and share the live, share the love. I see Castella just stepped into the room. What's up, Darren? If you don't know Castella, she's in California. They definitely know how to party. So let's go ahead, everyone, and kick off Artist Talk right now.
Live from WKRW, welcome to Artist Talk, a live one-on-one conversation with your host, the man with the golden voice, Jazzie K Ward.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the show, Artist Talk. Did y'all have a great weekend? I had a great weekend. Of course, I was off today because it was a holiday, but I feel like I need another day. So I've been enjoying the weekend. So what do we have here this weekend? We had the Alabama State Fair that's here. So I hung out at the fair. Of course, we had the football game, Alabama State University and Jackson State University. So it was ASU's homecoming this week. So it was a lot going on this week, but I'm so glad to see all of you. Thank you, my brother CTK. Again, everybody, if you can, please share the video. Please share the video, and I appreciate. Thanks so much, Kenneth. Hey, Darren. Hey, everybody. If you have questions or comments for our guest tonight, please leave them there in the comments section. He has a new project out, and it's called Mood Elevator. So wherever music is sold, y'all need to go download this CD right now. And if you don't know Mr. Gerry Smoot, just a little bit information that I'm going to tell you about this brother. So he's a multi-instrumentalist that was born in Owensboro, Kentucky. I've never heard of Owensboro, Kentucky. He resides now in Indiana. So again, this brother, he's a session and live musician. He's a keyboard, he's a producer, he's a drummer. That's why Gerry Smoot has that it factor. And if you don't know this brother, shame on you. So let's welcome our special guest tonight, smooth jazz multi-instrumentalist. I call him like, he's like the king of the keys and all that stuff. Everybody, let's welcome Mr. Gerry Smoot, the artist. What's up, my brother?
Hello, how you doing?
I'm good, my brother. How was your day today?
Oh, it wasn't too bad. Of course, finally started to get rid of this little thing that I had. Pretty sure you tune into the live, so you pretty much know what I was going through. So,
okay,
a little better though.
Okay, well that's good, my brother. But I wanted to tell you, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come and have a conversation with me.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and shame on me. I should have had this brother on a lot sooner. But I tell everybody, it's a small team. It's just one day out of the week, and I have a whole list of amazing artists, and some are even on this live that I just haven't had the opportunity to get to yet. So I'm so glad, Gerry, that I had a chance to talk to you, because brother, you are just smooth. You are smooth
Appreciate
on the keys, and that shifting gears. Let me tell you something, Gerry. I'm in my truck, right? And when I play that song, I'm like going down the highway, and I promise you, it's certain parts of that song, and I feel like I'm shifting gears in the truck. And I'll be gone. But that's what music does to you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think that's what music does to you. So Gerry, what we're gonna do, we have this segment on the show called The Real You.
Mm-hmm.
It's just 3 questions that I come up with, random questions, so our guests can get to know you a little bit better outside of your profession of music. Okay. Hey, Miss Tasha Mack, we got chit chat with Tasha Mack with us tonight.
Right.
So, Gerry, my first question is, what about you has grown in the last 5 years?
In the last 5 years, I would probably say that musically speaking, I learned a lot more about production. Of course, I've been in the studio since the age of 12, but to really get into the bigger aspect of it, it took a while, but I finally got to where I need to be. But in life, in general, that's still to be determined. That's still to be, yeah.
Okay, that's good. Okay, all right. I have a good feeling about Mr. Smoot. I'm adding him to my I-85 soundtrack. I got you, Ken. I like that. So my next question is, what do you wish you had an endless supply of? And then tell me why.
Oh, well, I would say an endless supply of gadgets. I just love technology.
Me too.
Even though I'm in my 40s, I'm not going to reveal all of my age, but just know I'm in my 40s. But I do like, some of the technology that is presented, and it is helpful. But I mean, don't get me wrong, I still like the old school way.
Okay.
Because, most people today, or they depend on technology a whole lot and don't know how to go back to the roots. And the roots is where it's all started.
That's right.
So,
okay. I like that. My next question is, when the pandemic, it was a life-changing well, I know for me, a lot of things. I never expected to even live through anything like the pandemic. But in 2021, and we're still going through the pandemic, by the way, y'all. I'm
Hmm.
not saying it's over.
Right.
But did you learn anything about Gary different that you didn't really think of, you didn't think you knew sooner?
Well, I learned a lot of patience. That's for sure.
Right.
Because I mean, there's like, as a musician, you always want to go, 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 go. That moment right there kind of slowed you down and kind of reflect on life and everything, and it just get your mind collected. And I mean, you can learn a lot from just by being still and just see what's going on
Yes.
around you.
Right. I like that. I had to learn how to be still. And Kenneth says he has a question for you. He said, "What's your favorite gadget?"
I'm all about computers,
Yeah.
computers, computers, computers.
Right. You're like me, Gary. People come over here and they were like, "What are you running?" Because I have a lot of, well, because I do a lot of the work, but I have a lot of laptops. I like gadgets, cell
Hmm.
phones, so I'm always connecting things. So people like, what?
Yeah, like right now, I got two laptops, an iPad, and my
Avon,
main computer. So it's got plenty of it.
got plenty of it. I love it. Hey, so Kenneth said, he loves that too. Plus, he's an IT guy, so
Nice.
he's like so gadget. So thank you so much, Gary, for answering those questions on the Real You segment. Again, everyone, if you have questions for our special guest tonight, don't forget to go over to his Facebook, the official. It's going to pop up there. I think it's the official Gary Smoot page. You can like it on Facebook, um, and go download. I know everybody has another device, so wherever music is sold, right, Gary, they can
Hmm.
download the CD.
Correct.
Okay. So we're gonna get right on into the show, everybody. So, Gary, I always ask people this question anyway. Why should people care about music, but especially jazz music?
Well, I think a lot of people has already said it, but I'm gonna reiterate on what everybody else has said on the show.
Hmm.
Music is actually an expression,
Hmm.
and you can let any kind of feeling out, whether it be happy, sad, whatever the case may be. It can brighten your day, and I mean, music just all the way around just makes anybody feel better, regardless of what they're going through.
Right.
So, especially jazz, like some jazz has lyrics, some jazz don't.
Right.
But it's the freedom to create and express yourself,
Hmm.
to convey to the audience that's listening, to give them the same experience that you're experiencing.
Right. I totally agree with that because even if I listen to your project, like his latest project is the Mood Elevator. If I listen to My Point Exactly or Say Less or Every Day, it's instrumental, but I can kind of tell my own story. It's
Hmm.
probably not your story of what you may mean from these particular songs, but I like when you said expression. So I can take whatever I'm feeling. And that's what I love about jazz music when it's instrumental. I'm creative in my mind and I'm a thinker and I'm always thinking and I'm processing things. And that's what jazz does to me. It gives me freedom.
Right.
So if I say the word to you, freedom, what comes to mind?
Freedom in general to me is like there's nothing standing in your way.
Right.
That's probably the best that I can put it. There's nothing standing in your way at all.
Right. Nothing standing in your way at all. And I wanted to ask you I had never heard of Owensboro, Kentucky. And that was where you were born. I'm originally
Hmm.
from Cincinnati, Ohio. And I was
Okay.
like, I've never heard of Owens. Is it a small town?
Uh, to me, it is, but it is the fourth largest city in Kentucky.
Wow.
They host a barbecue festival every year,
Wow.
unless it rains. But for the most part, yeah, I mean, it's right on the border. It's right along the Ohio River, and it's like
Okay.
an hour and a half west of Louisville.
Louisville. Gotcha.
Mhm.
I love that. So I was going to say, in Owensboro, did you grow up there in the church? Is that how Gerry Smoot, you started playing music
I started in the church as a kid.
as a kid?
So yeah, so church is in me and it is not going anywhere.
I was going to act like your family.
Mhm.
You know, was your family reared? Your mom, dad, brothers and sisters? If you have, you know.
My late grandfather, he was a pastor, and then I got two uncles that are also pastors, and one of them I'm playing for.
Okay.
And then I got music on both sides of my family, and it's in the roots
I
on
love
both
that.
sides.
So was the keyboard your first instrument? If I got a feeling, I think you're gonna tell me you started playing drums. I could be wrong.
No, keyboard is actually where I first started, and
Okay.
I started playing at the age of 2. Believe it or not.
Wow. So when you started playing at age, you know, so were you self-taught or did
Well, actually, my uncle who also plays keys, he kind of showed me the ropes,
okay.
and got me started, and went from blindfolded and everything just to make sure I know where my keys are and whatnot. And then ever since I started playing, the more I progressed, the more I started learning things on my own and watching other musicians and things like that.
Okay, great. So and just moving forward a little bit.
Mhm.
So through middle school, high school, were you in bands? Did you play in a group or anything?
Yeah, I was in band throughout all of school. Uh, of course, I was on percussion,
Okay.
and my when I was in high school, from my junior year and up, I was percussion captain.
Wow.
So um, that was that. But I still did like other functions, and then also during school, the choir teacher would ask me to play piano for them on certain occasions, where I would accompany the choir for school, because I'm everybody knew in the school that I was a piano player too. So
Wow. Wow. I was going to ask you, do you remember like your first, I don't know, I'm just going to say recital. Do you remember the very first song you learned how to play?
uh not so much. But to give you a little funny story,
Mm-hmm.
back in 1985, I was in a talent show and went to Dallas, Texas, and
Okay.
there was a pageant called Kids of America,
Okay.
and I ended up playing a Van Halen song, "Jump," and I actually got the news because I got second place, but what the reason why I got second place was the first place stuff that they had was all female stuff. They didn't expect any guy to be in first place, so they presented me in second place. And at that time, the trophy was as big as I was, so we
Uh-huh.
got like a 4.5 foot trophy, and I'm just slightly under it. So, but yeah, I'll probably say that would be the first song that comes to mind would be that Van Halen song.
Okay. I love that. I love that. Hey, everybody. I'm Jazzie K Ward, your host for Artist Talk Jazzy After Dark. Our special guest tonight is smooth jazz multi-instrumentalist, Mr. Gerry Smoot. He has a new album out, and it's called The Mood Elevator. We're going to talk about that. We're going to take a break, and Gerry is going to perform something from that project. You don't want to miss it. Continue to keep it locked right here. I'm Jazzie K Ward. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Charles Prophet Jr., saxophonist. And I want to know, have you checked out Artist Talk with Jazzie K Ward? He's on every Monday on Facebook Live and YouTube, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can check him out every Monday. And if you don't, shame on you. But just check him out. Man, he's a great guy. Peace.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the show, Artist Talk. Thank you so much, Mr. Charles Prophet Jr. We're talking with our special guest, Mr. Gerry Smoot, his new album, Mood Elevator. So, Gerry, I have a question I have to ask you. The title, Mood Elevator. Tell me about the title. How did you come up with it?
Well, the title itself, you know, there's always a rhyme or reason for titles of my albums. Mood Elevator in particular was I wanted to shift the mood a little bit different than my normal albums. So for those who've been listening to my album for a while, would know exactly what I mean. Uh, this album is just like each song has its own mood, and you can feel that mood, and that's what I'm trying to convey to the people that's listening. That each song has its own mood.
It does. I'm telling y'all, this CD. Oh, just like Colleen, she took the words. It is fire. You can, I purchased. You can download. And Gary, let them know where they can download it.
On any platform that you choose, whether it be Amazon, iTunes, Google Play, you name it, it's there. And if it's not there, it will be there.
Okay. So my producer, he just put the link there in the chat, y'all. So you can just click on that. It'll take you straight to the album. You can download it. You'll have it right then and there. And so, Gary, can you tell us what's the first song you're going to play for us tonight?
I think I'm going to start with the most played song. It seems to be everybody's favorite. So I'm going to start off with My Cup of Tea.
I love this song. I'm telling you, this song is bad, y'all. You all going to, I'm telling you, you're going to drink more than some tea. You may drink a Long Island ice tea after you hear this song. Okay. So my friend Gerry Smoot, take it away. Okay. Did you hear that? Doop. See that? That's that. I love it. I love my cup of tea. I'm telling y'all. Now I'm drinking water over here, and I don't even drink brown liquor, but I just felt like I needed a Long Island iced tea after hearing that song. So I thought that was amazing. So Kenneth said, "Is that a rolling keyboard? What kind of keyboard?"
Actually, believe it or not, the piano sound that I'm using is coming out of my laptop.
Wow, that's magical technology.
Yes.
That's amazing.
That's why I love my computers. Matter of fact, just about every show I do, you will always see me with a laptop.
Wow, we're gonna have to talk. Well, so Rose Lady also said there are not any hard copies to purchase as of yet. Can you give us a time frame, or do you know, Gary?
I'm hoping to have them within the next month or so.
Okay. But right now, they can most certainly download copies now.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, wow. Just when you think about technology, but I want to talk a little bit more about that. So, Gary, where we're going to go, Dr. Chantel Graham is here with our health and wellness segment. And then we're going to come back and have a little bit more conversation with you. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. Hey, everybody. Let's get ready now for Dr. Chantel Graham. She is in the house, and we're going to have more conversation with multi-instrumentalist Mr. Gerry Smoot right after this.
It's time for Health and Wellness Check-In with Dr. Chantel Graham. Tips for the mind, body, and soul.
Dr. Graham, what you sipping on?
My tea. And you see my lovely hat? Yesterday, I walked in Strides for Breast Cancer, so that's my hat I had to wear yesterday.
I love that.
It didn't pop in the car. I was happy with that. So,
Okay.
Whatever.
Did you have a good weekend?
Always good, but just too short.
Always.
I feel like we should, hey, Jazzie, I feel like we should have a 3-day work week and a 4-day weekend.
Boom.
But that's my problem. We're not going to go with that. So today, let's see. We're going to do a little something different today.
Okay.
You love to put people in the hot seat with the real you.
Mm-hmm.
Today, you're in the hot seat. I'm going to describe something, and everybody can chime in when they want. I'm going to describe something. It's going to be either fruit or vegetable. It's just one thing. Give you some information. Let's see if any of you can tell me what this is. Now, this food item is nutrient dense. Now, I know we always hear that, but what does that mean, nutrient dense? That just means that it has low calories, but it has a lot of vitamins, minerals, and fiber. Okay, this is a nutrient dense food item. It's been known to treat ailments such as headaches, mouth sores, heart disease. Mm-hmm. It's high in vitamin C, which is great for your immune system, collagen, productive tissues, as well as helps absorb iron better. With vitamin C, remember that's an antioxidant. So it fights those free radicals, things that are linked to cancer. High in vitamin Bs, like folic acid, which is B9 or B6. Remember, that helps with metabolism and also nerve function. You can start guessing whenever. I'm going to give you 3 guesses at the end. Don't worry about it. Okay. It's a great source of vitamin K, which aids in normal cellular function. It has fluid balance. It does nerve transmissions. It helps kidney functions and muscle functions. It can reduce cholesterol, lower blood pressure.
Okay.
What else I can think of? Good for bone density. People that eat this fruit or vegetable, it helps build their bone density. So women that are postmenopausal, it reduces them having hip fractures when they fall. Oh, it's a great antibacterial, and it aids in digestion. What do you think it is? Everybody can chime in. What do you think this one thing is? And mind you, think about it. Right now, it's the cooler season. Up here in New York, it's cold. It went from summer to winter. We miss fall, whatever. We make a lot of soups and stews. We make a lot of pies and cakes and desserts. So what is this one thing? Now, this may not go on everything, but it goes in a lot of things. What do you think this one thing is? You got 3 guesses. Let's go.
And you said it's in soups. We use it to make soups.
I said I know what I said was it's comfort food. And you know, right now, this time you'd be like comfort food. Kenneth said beets, wrong.
Well, I was going to say Brussels sprouts, but I know that's wrong.
Wrong. You got 2 more guesses. Anybody else?
Costello says cinnamon.
Close, but no. No, not really close, but no. One more guess. Come on, Jazzie.
Comfort food. Comfort food.
I just said, I mean,
Monica said lemons.
It can be stuff that can be sweet. It can be stuff that can be savory. Monica's wrong. So, come on, Jazzie. You got to give one more guess. One more guess.
Ooh.
See how it feels to be in a hot seat? The real you?
I know.
Okay.
I'm going to take Costello. She said sweet potatoes.
Okay, no. Believe it or not, it's onions.
Onions.
Onions. Onions do all of that. Good try, Jazzie Harris. It's actually the onion.
Wow.
Now, you can eat them raw. You can eat them sauteed. You can eat it fried. When I thought about comfort food, I thought about those soups and stews like oxtail stew, like butternut squash soup. You can put it on your salad raw. You can. So onions have, it's packed with vitamins and minerals, and it's great in fiber. Like I said, it does help reduce blood pressure. It helps also stabilize your blood sugar, helps you lose weight, it helps metabolism. Now, people might not like onions. Oh, my breath stink. I don't like the way it smells, blah, blah, blah. You know me. I'm also advocate. You can do it in vitamin form. Now, remember, the vitamin form, you can do capsules or you can do liquid. I personally like the extract liquid. The reason why, remember, when it comes to vitamins, if you get a good liquid, it's 4 times as potent as a capsule. Okay. When you have liquid, your body actually absorbs 98% of the nutrients when it comes to a liquid. Okay. And it usually absorbs within 1 to 4 minutes. Now, with capsules, you got to take like 20 capsules to equal 1 teaspoon of liquid. Okay. And even with taking those capsules, your body only absorbs 40 to 60%. So go with the liquid.
Well, question I have about onions. Is there, you have the yellow onions, the white onions, the purple onions?
Purple onions, sweet onions. Onions are onions. Onions are great. You can eat any kind of onion. Sweet onion, yellow onion, Balania onion, white onion, yellow onion, red onion. Yes, it does all those great things. And if you eat half an onion a day, you're going to reduce your chances of cancer by 50%.
Wow. I didn't realize. Well, I can't say this before we, Dr. Graham, that my grandmother, when we were sick with colds, or we had some, they would take onions and put it in a sock.
Wrap your feet and your forehead.
Right.
We did that. My parents did that because it's supposed to draw out the fever. Did it work? It worked. You felt better the next day, but was it because it stinks so bad you didn't want to smell like onions no more? Or was it because it really worked? Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, that was the thing that we did when you had a fever. And remind you, if you ever look at your feet, the bottom of your feet, look up reflexology. So much of your body is controlled by the bottom of your feet. Maybe we'll talk about that one day. We'll talk about those little things. But yeah, so get you some onions, cook them, stew them down, make you some French onion soup, some butternut squash soup, make you a pot of beans with some soup for those who don't like to eat meat, vegetarian. Listen, onions are wonderful. And I love onions. Onions are a wonderful thing.
Right. I do too. I love onions. I love this, Dr. Graham. And let people know how to find you, Dr. Graham, on social media.
You can find me on theapplife.info, which is my website. You can email me at Dr. Graham, theapplife.info. Social media, I'm on the App Life, and I'm also at Dr. Sharney 0730. And get your copy of Nia.
Show them Nia the German. Get your copy.
Nia is never far away. She's never far away. But hopefully, like I said, I just submitted the 2nd volume to the publisher. So at some point, we'll get a release date. And Nia's going to take on Vic the Virus.
I can't wait. I can't wait for that. And Dr. Graham, as you know, I always ask my guests this question. My question. And Costello said she got her book.
Because that's my girl.
Gary's new project, Mood Elevator, My Cup of Tea. I know you got your tea. We need you to play this in the OR.
You see what my cup say?
Don't threaten me with a good time.
You know I'm playing that music tomorrow. Oh, are we going to cue him up? Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Dr. Graham, as always, thank you so much. I mean, this is so educational. for us, and we learn something.
Things that are out the ordinary. We hear about a lot of stuff, and I know it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we talk about that. But there's little things that we can do to prevent stuff. The app life, active, proactive prevention. So we start off in the beginning, and we end well.
I love it, Doctor. And can you stick around for the rest of it?
I sure will. Thanks, Tasha Mack. Chit chat with Tasha Mack. Catch up tomorrow, you guys. Don't play around now.
Right. Every Tuesday with Chit Chat.
And if you don't, hashtag shame on you.
Shame on you. Thanks, Dr. Graham.
All right. Take care, everyone.
Hey, everybody. Don't you just love Dr. Graham? I love that. Gary, did you learn anything from Dr. Graham?
Yes, I did. And actually, I'm not a big fan of onions, but I mean, I will eat. I do onion powder and stuff like that. The texture of it just gets to me. But if it's of course it's being caramelized, then I'm good with it. So
right. So, that sounds about good. It's starting to get cold, and you make a nice big pot of chili or soup or whatever, and put you some nice onions in there. And some people like onion soup. I'm not that crazy about onion soup, but some people like onion soup. And I don't get. Have you ever heard of that? From you being maybe from my grandparents lived in the country, and whenever we had a fever or cold, she would take onions and put it in a sock and make us put our socks on and put the onions in the socks. And the next morning, whatever, it was like gone.
I haven't heard that until like recently, maybe few years ago, that they said if you put an onion on your feet, it draws out all the toxins and stuff that comes from your body. And I had no idea it has done that. It
has done that. I love that. But I even going back, and I'm gonna switch back to this mood elevator, y'all. Mr. Gerry Smoot, his latest album. If you just tuned into the show, for those who are watching the replay, he has a new project. It's 10 tracks on it, Gary. Mood elevator. You just heard him play My Cup of Tea. I love that song. And tell us, we were talking before we went to the break with Dr. Graham, and people were asking like, well, what are you playing? And we were talking about technology, and you said you were actually using your computer. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Well, I'm actually got a keyboard that I run into my computer via a USB cable.
Okay.
And this is pretty much how I record all my songs. I use all the instruments that's in the computer as I'm recording it. Okay. So what I like to do is I like to keep the same sounds that I use for every song. And I got like 10 different stems set up, which tells me I got a piano track or I got a synth track or whatever the case may be. So instead of trying to hunt for the sound, I can just click to the next one and I'm ready. So, yeah. So those are good to have.
Right. I was going to ask you, like, what's your creative process like? When you were preparing for any song or even this CD, what's your creative process? Like, what do you start to do these songs? Like My Point Exactly, Loving You, Sign This, what's your process?
Normally for me, it's just a creative spark wherever I may be. Like if there's something that's going on in my head, if I'm driving, I pull out my phone and turn on a camera audio or something, then hum what I hear. And then I lay it down in the studio, or sometimes I'll come in and I'll piddle around, just playing, whatever.
Right.
And I could be just doing something simple like, and then all of a sudden be like, oh, wait a minute, that's a good, melody. And then I just run along with it. So it just a variety of things that can inspire that.
I wanted to ask you, what do you do when the world is not ready for your sound?
Well, if the world's not ready, they're not ready. Right. I can't change my identity for, for somebody else's happiness.
Right.
I can only be myself, and I can only be true to myself. Yeah, so it's just like everything else in life, you either accept it or reject it.
Or you reject it, because there's a whole world out here, right? Gary, there's a lot of musicians, there's a lot of talent, and That's okay, because everybody is not going to like him. But the point is, you have to keep on keeping on, and you have to keep on being uniquely you.
Exactly.
And that's what makes us all different. And that's when I think about music. And music is so healing. And in this world we live in, today, Gary, music is so therapeutic, mind, body, and soul. So what does music heal you from, like during your darkest hours? What's that like for you?
I can tell you, music has brought me out of a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, from anywhere from if I was in a dark place, I would just sit there and just play whatever comes to mind. I could just play something and just keep playing. Then all of a sudden, it just releases.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So what do you do every day that makes you so great at this?
Well, a lot of my time is really very limited.
Really?
So, but I always just try to perfect my craft, even during recording, just whatever, I have the free time of like, okay, I can. So whenever I'm starting to record, I always play something just to warm up, whether it be like scales or something, just something like I just played earlier, just something simple,
Right.
just kind of keep the finger motions going and make sure I haven't lost anything. So it's
Wow.
just a lot of things.
Just a lot of things. I love that. And Gary, I'm gonna put you on the spot again here. I would love for you to play something else off of this album. And another one of my favorites on this album is Only Time Will Tell.
I can do that.
Can you do that? Y'all, I'm telling
Yeah.
you. Y'all, I'm telling you, you're gonna need another glass of Long Island iced tea that we had earlier. I'm just saying for those. So Gary has a new album out, and it's called Mood Elevator. It's 10 amazing tracks, and it's all also, everybody, about supporting indie artists. It's a lot of work. There's a lot of money that goes into these artists. They're not signed to major labels. So everybody that's on this live, if you haven't, please go download it. For those who go back and watch the replay, it's about support. Caring is sharing, my brother. So, hey, everybody, I want y'all to take a listen at Gerry Smoot, and this is Only Time Will Tell. Just my hat off to you, my brother.
I appreciate it.
I was like, what was that part you did, Gary? You played a little something there when you moved the mic. It was like a dun, 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 dun. I don't know what that was.
Yeah, I was playing repeated notes and then I was bending them. So like,
Whoa, that's bad. It took me back to like almost. You remember like Zapp and Roger when they used to use that little mic voice thing
the
or
talk
something.
box. Mm-hmm.
I love that. And I was like, come on, I'm like, I think of people like George Duke. I see you just like Gary Smoot. But I want to ask you something about the industry. Artists like yourself and so many other talented artists, the artists that have been on this show. When you think about the music industry, Gary, there's those reason why you haven't even been nominated. You have even been, Grammy received a lot of awards, but the music industry doesn't quite work like that, does it?
Not at all. I mean, it's not about what you know. It's mainly about who you know.
Oh, that's right. So how did you feel about the music industry and even as well? What's been some challenges you've had in this business, if you can share? Maybe just even having your music heard or getting to a bigger platform.
That's pretty much my issue. Is it took me years to actually get to where I'm at. So now that my name is starting to finally spread, it's it's actually accomplishing what I had envisioned. But I mean, like I said, it took some years.
Right.
And patience is the key.
Right.
And having a lot of patience and a lot of time and sacrifice, it plays a big factor.
Right.
So yeah,
I think that's key. What's been a valuable lesson that you've learned about being in this business?
Well, I would say the most valuable lessons is just make sure every I's is dotted and every T is crossed. Because I mean, you gotta watch your back at all times. As you gotta have people that you can trust. That's the main thing, and then building relationships and having rapport and because I mean you say it all the time. It's just building relationships.
Right.
So that's another thing. So
right, and a segment like Dr. Graham said, we're also a segment that we like to do with producer and Dr. Graham and some other people. It's called Mind Your Business.
Okay.
So you get what we're saying. It's important, Gary, for one, you have to know what you do.
Exactly.
In order, I mean, to even educate yourself on this business, right? And I'm sure a lot of artists, even when you go back during the pandemic, just a lot of people learned a lot about themselves and not knowing about technology. This wasn't done. And then you heard a lot of artists that say, well, I didn't really have a problem or issue during the pandemic because my music pretty much works for itself. I make money even when I'm asleep.
Yeah, I seen that too, and everybody's different.
Yeah.
That's just bottom line. Everybody has their own thing, and what you do is what you can do, and somebody else can do, it's what they can do.
Right. So what can we do? When I say we, myself, and people that's on this live to continue, I think to support artists, what can we do?
I mean, if you really believe in that artist, I mean, pretty much that's just basically it. Just show us support. Whether it be buying their albums or their merchandise, and I mean, every little thing counts.
Right. Right. What's your favorite and least favorite about being a musician?
I don't know if I have a least favorite per se, but I enjoy music.
You just enjoy music,
and it's been in me since I was little. So I mean, it's
right.
I I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon.
Right.
You know,
I love
so but I can say there's least favorite. I probably say the least favorite would be is if you work so hard and nobody pays attention to your stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because
That could be the least favorite thing.
I can understand that. I can understand because you know what, you know, Kenneth must have the word. When I'm listening, I'm always listening to different shows like Watercolors. You know, he mentioned, you know, and plus I play your music on WVAS, but a lot of people think that because you hear Sirius XM radio, oh, I hear, you know, Watercolors. Why is Gary Smoot not on Watercolors? Well, it just doesn't happen that way. I mean, he's a talented, gifted artist, just like so many people, but there, you know, there's a lot you probably have to go through to even get your music heard on a platform like that.
It really is, you know, and I mean, I wouldn't mind being on Watercolors. I would love to be on Watercolors, but and you know, until then, I just have to do what I know how to do, and
Right.
Again, it's knowing the right people.
Knowing the right people. And like my brother Quentin Gerard said, you know, it's political, and
Yeah.
it's political. And again, my sister Lady T says, like fine wine, everything is in time. And
Absolutely.
trust me, everything, and trust me, brother, you are talented, you are magnificent. And anything I can continue to do to support you in your music, definitely for sure, you're definitely in my corner. And everybody on this side of the line, and I always tell people, we need to start having more conversations. You know, when you hear music, share music, tell your friends about it. Say, hey, you know, you need to go check out this guy, Gary Smoot. And somebody said, we're going to change your name, Gary. It's not going to be Gary Smoot anymore. It's going to be Gary Smooth.
Actually, funny thing is, like some of the local bands that I play with, because I also play drums for a blues band and whatnot.
Mm.
My stage name is actually G Smooth.
G Smooth. I like that.
So yeah, that's already a given. So yeah.
I love that. So what's next for Gary Smoot? I know you're promoting this album, Mood Elevator, and let people know where they can go and get and download the album.
Yeah, go to Apple, Amazon, Google Play. It's even on, you know, streaming sites like Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, just wherever, and you'll find it there.
Okay. And what's the on social media? Tell them where to find you at and follow you on social media.
That is the official Gary Smoot right here on Facebook. It's also on Instagram is the official Gary Smoot, but there's underscores in each
Yeah,
name.
because if they just type Gary Smoot, it'll pop up.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And what about do you have a YouTube channel?
Yes, actually, I do have a YouTube channel, and you can find it under Gary Smoot as well.
Wow. So, you know, Gary, before we let you go, what any words of advice or words of wisdom that someone has shared with you, or you know that you can share with us about someone wanting to follow in your footsteps?
Well, I mean, it's pretty much self-explanatory. You know, I always get told, you know, just be yourself. Don't be a copycat. Stay original. Be humble. And everything else will fall into place.
I love that. You know, I always say my Aunt Dorothy, who I love, who lives in Cincinnati, Ohio, she would always tell me this, Gary. We talk even since I was a little boy to this day. She always would tell me this. I said, what is she talking about? She always would say, do it on the good foot. And that's what she keeps telling me each every time we talk.
I heard that saying before too, yes.
She would always tell me, my Aunt Dorothy in Cincinnati, Ohio, she said, son, Corey, nephew, keep doing it on the good foot. I said, yes, ma'am. And as I got older, I realized that. Gary Smoot, my brother, again, thank you so much for your wonderful gift. Thank you so much for sharing your wonderful gift. And everyone, the album is called The Mood Elevator. It's 10 tracks, smooth jazz, multi-instrumentalist, Keys of Smooth Productions. This is this brother, Mr. Gary, Mr. G Smooth. Y'all, go get this album. Okay, go download it in about a month or so. Follow that page. Hope Gary plans to have physical copies, and you can get the physical copies. But that's okay. You can still download it, and when the physical copy are ready, you can buy another one. It's just that simple, y'all. And Gary, would you please come back on the show?
Oh, absolutely. I had a blast.
Thank you so much. And Gary, I'm gonna put you on the spot again, and you can tell me no, but if you do, I'm gonna say shame on you for that. Oh, could you take us out with something?
Sure. Let me see what I can.
If you have something. And everybody, again, thank you so much for joining me on the show. Join me back here next Monday. Go to K Ward Radio, my YouTube channel, and subscribe. KWardRadio.com is the website. If you would like to mail me physical copies of CDs or any information you'd like to have, that is listed there. If you'd like to support the show, no donation is too small. Cash App, PayPal. Join me each and every Saturday on 90.7 WVAS, the Alabama State University. And our special guest tonight is multi-instrumentalist Mr. Gerry Smoot. Again, his new album is The Mood Elevator. Go download it, Apple, Amazon, wherever music is sold. Make sure you go get the gift. That's right. That's right, Christine. I hope I said that right. She said, thank you for sharing your musical gift. Thank you, Wilford, Lady T. As always, my sister, I love you. Kenneth, Wilford, Costello, and everybody. Thank you so much to Dr. Graham, Chef D, and everybody. You know who you are. And my friend Gary, you can take us out. I appreciate it, my friend.
Absolutely. I'm gonna take you out with the song called Every Day.
Every day. Every day I'm
culture.